Greetings, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Arlington Weekly News. I'm Craig Nolan. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome back, Mr. Nolan. I'm Daniel Pineda.
Good to have you back.
Yes.
And here we go with another show. This is our last show in January 2015.
Already?
Hard to believe January's racing by, but we hope you're staying warm and avoiding the flu. We've got our news and community bulletin board items and our CBB as well. And Adele is here with
It's Easy Being Green.
We said that last week or 2 weeks ago in your absence, despite the fact that you were
I know.
and you were on assignment.
That's right.
Rich
assignment.
is here with his reviews,
Hey,
waiting
Rich.
over there in the wings.
Hey,
Hi,
Rich.
Rich. News for seniors, and then Rich doing double duty again tonight, and has an interview with Chuck Toftoy and Susan Noack from Arlington County Police Department. That's our show, but before we begin, a social media reminder from our
Absolutely, Mr. Nolan. You can watch the Arlington Weekly News on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/Arlington Weekly News and the number 1. And also you can go to facebook.com/Arlington Weekly News.
We're on YouTube. All right, thanks, Daniel. Here we go with the first of our news items. Well, there was a hit-and-run incident on Tuesday, January 27th in the parking lot along the 3600 block of Columbia Pike. The victim survived the incident, still alive but in critical condition. The assailant was caught by police the next day. This all happened at around 4:45 in the afternoon of January 27th. A female Fairfax County resident hit a 40-year-old man with her SUV. Several people witnessed the event and saw her knock the man down to the ground with her vehicle, then drive over him and drug him several feet before driving away. She was identified by witnesses and was arrested later at her home at 6 the next morning. She is being held in county jail without bond. Daniel.
Well, Craig, according to Arlington police, a drunk man taking an Uber car tried to kiss his driver when arriving at his house. When she resisted, he assaulted her and took her phone so she couldn't call police. The incident happened Saturday night, January the 24th, in the 2200 block of South Garfield Street in Arlington. The 31-year-old man was intoxicated when he tried kissing his female driver. He left the phone on the front steps of his home. A witness to the incident took the phone and called police. The man is being held without bond.
All right, Daniel, and in other news, not quite so violent news, the Arlington County Board has voted not to build a new school at TJ Elementary. In a 4-1 vote, the board majority said that alternatives had to be studied because the addition of an elementary school near the existing TJ Middle School could negatively affect the surrounding community. The only dissenter was former school board member Libby Garvey. She agreed with Arlington Public Schools and the general feeling around the neighborhood there, and according to their assessment that new facilities are urgently needed, but that's a victory for the local residents around TJ. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Arlington County residents have chosen Tommy Casey's enhanced photographic design called A Nod to History as the winning design in the 2015-16 11th annual decal design competition. The county board announced the winner on Wednesday, that's January the 28th. Casey is a senior at Yorktown High School. A panel of Arlington residents reviewed 114 entries and determined the winner and finalists. Casey won $750. The other finalists received $500 each. The finalists were Marissa DeFranco and Ingrid Jacobson of Wakefield High School and Lauren Graft of Washington Lee.
All right, good stuff. Congratulations to Tommy Casey.
Absolutely, yeah.
Winning that design for your window sticker decal. Well, homeowners probably have mixed feelings over Arlington County's real estate assessment for 2015. The new assessments show an overall increase in residential property. The property values have increased about 3.4% over last year, but that number reflects commercial property assessments, which stayed about the same. The property value of the average single-family home in Arlington actually increased 4.9% from just under $553,000 in 2014 to almost $580,000 in 2015. Single-family residents include condominiums, townhomes, and detached homes. Real estate assessments are available online. You can check the website. It's propertysearch.arlingtonva.us. Daniel.
Arlington is home to a thriving artistic community, and Arlington-born rapper C-Love is one of them. If you haven't heard of him or his music before, then you can watch his recently released track, Grind, on YouTube. Simply search youtube.com for C-Love. The video features scenes that were shot around Arlington in a skate park, Wakefield High School, and in the Noack neighborhood. The song Grind is about keeping your motivation, keep working or grinding toward your goals despite life struggles.
All right. Good stuff. C-Love and Grind.
C-Love, yeah.
Check it out. All right. Well, we'll be back with our CBB Community Bulletin Board file right after we hear from Adele Quo. And
It's easy being green.
Here's Adele.
Thanks, guys. And we have Joe Tree Frog here tonight.
Joe Tree Frog
Yes,
is still
we're
here.
easy being green, removing impervious pavement. Just a reminder, if you're an Arlington property owner interested in reducing stormwater runoff from your property and keep pollutants out of our streams, applications for Arlington's 2015 Stormwater Wise Landscapes program are being accepted this February. More details will be available this month. Check the website on your screen for details, www.arlingtonva.us/storm. If you are selected through the program's lottery system, you will receive advice from county staff and funds to support your project. 4 practices are eligible for the reimbursement program. One of the 4 eligible practices is removal of impervious pavement, followed by soil amendment and native plantings. As an approved stormwater-wise landscape practice, pavement removal increases the amount of permeable ground on your property to allow rainwater to soak into the ground instead of becoming stormwater runoff from your property. Pavement also disconnects us from our natural world, so free your soil. Ideas of areas where pavement could be removed on your property include unused sport play areas, sections of a driveway that aren't used for parking, patios and walkways that are no longer in use. A couple tips. Before you break ground, don't forget to call Miss Utility to mark your utilities. It's free. And plan how your removed asphalt or concrete will be recycled. Concrete recycling is becoming increasingly popular, allowing reuse of the concrete aggregate while helping to keep your construction costs down. After your pavement is removed, digging into the ground and adding compost or leaf mulch will reduce soil compaction and encourage water to soak into the ground. Adding native plants will improve your soil permeability as well. Further, use our mid-Atlantic native plants that are better adapted to our local climate and soils. Besides staying true to what nature intended for our region, mid-Atlantic native plants make us feel at home. They remind us of this place that we like to call home. So remember, it's easy being green with pavement removal to free your soil.
Very nice. Remove that impervious pavement.
That's right.
Get
Let
rid
it
of it.
run into the ground.
And the water
slowly.
goes into
Soak,
the
soak,
ground.
soak.
I like
Okay.
it. Good idea.
Good.
Thanks, Adele. We
You
appreciate
are welcome.
it. All right,
And
moving
Joe.
right along. We're getting the hook here. Here's promised now our CBB or Community Bulletin Board file. Well, if you watch Saturday Night Live or The Daily Show with Jon Stewart, then you've probably seen comedian Michael Shea with his particular brand of political and observational humor. Well, you can watch him live in person when he brings his stand-up routine to the Arlington Cinema and Draft House. He'll be there Friday, February 6th, and Saturday the 7th. For more information, check out their website, arlingtondrafthouse.com/drafthouse for tickets, showtimes, and more information. Check it out. Daniel.
Yeah, check it out. That definitely seems like fun, right, Craig?
Really good stuff.
Well, it's that time of year again. It's tax time. At least time to prepare for taxes. AARP volunteers are offering free tax help at Arlington Central Library and at the Columbia Pike Branch in February, March, and April. Help is on a first-come, first-served basis. Spanish-speaking volunteers are available. The Central Library's hours are Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and Thursdays from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Columbia Pike's hours are Tuesdays from 1:15 p.m. to 7:45 p.m. and Fridays and Saturdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit library.arlingtonva.us for more information. Craig.
All right, Daniel, and also on our CBB file, Opera Nova is a volunteer-based nonprofit organization whose mission is to bring the joy of opera to residents here in the Northern Virginia, Arlington community. The Arlington-based facility needs event planners to help fundraise and run their Valentine Day evening concert and reception. This event will be held at the NREC, the National Rural Electric Cooperative, I knew I was going to mess that up, Association in Arlington. They're expecting about 200 attendees, so get your tickets early. For more information, give them a call. Here's their number, 703, I think it's on your screen right there, 703-536-7557 for more information. Daniel.
Well, Craig, the nonprofit Doorways for Women and Families wants to empower women and families that have experienced domestic violence, homelessness, and other risks. The group needs volunteers to help answer the helpline and support shelter residents at their domestic violence safe house and family homeless shelter. Volunteers are asked to cover 2 daytime shifts per month, usually 2 to 4 hours between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. To learn more, call 703-504-9284.
All right, thanks, Daniel. And we'll be back, as promised, with our News for Seniors file right after we hear from our man about town for theater, the arts, and a whole lot more, Mr. Rich Massabny.
Mr.
Here's
Massabny.
Rich.
Thank you, boys.
Take it
Thank
away,
you very
Rich.
much. The Kennedy Center opened up with Gigi. It's a good one, and it'll be there for, I think, through February 12th. Check the phone number 202-267-4600 or check www.kennedy-center.org. The Arena Stage has a funny show, Sherlock Holmes mystery adaptation by the local guy Ken Ludwig. There are 5 actors but dozens of characters in this thing. There's a basic stage setting but loads of props. And there's so many costume changes, I lost count. I'm talking about the show at the Arena Stage called Baskerville by Sherlock Holmes, written by Ken Ludwig, as I say. It's a reinvention of the Hounds of the Baskerville, and it's set in 1890s England. The dialogue's quick, jumps around. It's full of surprises and fun. It's directed by Amanda Denert. And it cast has several people in it, 5 people actually. I won't go into all the names now, but they'll be there. And if the show's the phone number at the Arena Stage is 202-488-3300, or check the website at arenastage.org for a pretty good show. The Arlington Players, by the way, gang, the Arlington Players are going to give you a free look at a dress rehearsal for Comedy of Errors. It'll be at Thomas Jefferson on Friday the 30th from 7:30 p.m. and it's free. If you got any questions about it, to see backstage, I'm going to go. I want to see what goes on. I always see the finished product. 703-548-1063 or look up arlingtonplayers.org. Finally, I just want to mention, the Helen Hayes nominations were just the other night. And, everything in theater, everything is given some kind of nomination or whatever it is. So if you want to see now, it's you can look up their website, www.theaterwashington.org, and you can see those Helen Hayes nominations. In fact, it was in the newspaper yesterday, or 2 days ago now, and you can see it's a whole list of everything you want to know about the theater. Thanks, folks. Till next week.
Okay, great. Thanks, Rich.
Thank you,
Appreciate
Rich.
it. Here we go. As promised now, our News for Seniors file. Moving right along. Well, magician David Tinter will showcase some of his award-winning stage illusions at a free event coming up at Walter Reed Senior Center. That's going to be held Friday, 6 February at 11 in the morning, 11 to noon. Here's their number, 703-228-0955. Daniel.
Well, Craig, mental health therapist Nancy Connor says it is natural to feel devastated by the loss of a pet. She will conduct a discussion on healthy ways to cope with the loss on Friday. That's February the 6th at 10 a.m. at Arlington Mill Senior Center. For more information and to register for this free program, call Arlington Mill at 703-228-7369.
All right, and also in our News for Seniors file, free armchair travels to Hawaii, Egypt, and Thailand are on the agenda at 3 different Arlington Senior Centers. Local travel expert Dee Bivens will take seniors on a pictorial tour of Hawaii on Tuesday, February 3 at 11 in the morning at Culpeper Garden Senior Center. For someplace farther afield, that's been getting a lot of media attention, travel lately, enthusiasts Sandy and Gail Cohen will present their trips to Egypt. That's coming up Thursday, 5 February at 1 in the afternoon at Walter Reed Senior Center. And if you're more interested in Southeast Asia than the Middle East, international traveler and educator George McDonald will share his experiences living and teaching in Thailand. His event is coming up Monday, February 9 at 1:30 in the afternoon at Aurora Hill Senior Center. More information is available. Here's their number, 703-228-4721. Daniel.
Well, Craig, Culpeper Garden Senior Center is presenting a unique DVD documentary about John F. Kennedy's time as President of the United States. It covers his nomination, inaugural address, civil rights, space exploration, Berlin Wall, Cuban Missile Crisis, and the Bay of Pigs. That's on Monday, February the 9th at 1 p.m. To register for this free program, call Culpeper Garden Senior Center. That's at 703-228-4403.
All right, Danielle, and don't forget Valentine's Day is coming, and our OSAP senior correspondent, Judy Massabny, just reminds everyone to get out there and buy a card, buy some flowers, do something special, a little chocolate for that special person in your life. Don't forget Valentine's Day coming up here February 14th. And as always, thanks to Judy Massabny of Office of Senior Adult Programs for sending us these announcements. All right, wrapping it up now. We're almost out of time, but we just have time for Rich and Dr. Charles Toftoy. Here's Rich.
All right, thank you again, Rich Massabny. And we're going to talk about a very important subject. It affects every one of us, no matter what you do. If you're a professor like Dr. Charles Toftoy sitting right here, and then we have with us, really the guest of honor here is Lieutenant Susan Noack. She's a lieutenant with the Arlington County Police, and she's a commander for the midnight shift.
Yes, that's correct.
And she has people under her all over Arlington County, and I guess you go around and make sure everything's sort of good, overall supervisor.
Overall, yes.
I am not the professional you people are. I know Dr. Toftoy here has looked into this matter about crime and whatever it is in the area, and of course you live with it every day. But I'm sort of aware of it too, and but I wonder how many of you out there realize how vulnerable, a lot of you do, but how vulnerable you are. I was just telling these two guests of mine tonight, Dr. Toftoy's heard this before, but I live near Bluemont Park in Arlington, and I've seen in the summertime when gals scantily clad, of course, and running, and it's starting to get dark, and they're running into a darkened area, and they got headphones on, and everything. What are they doing? What are they doing? Anyway, you have something to say, Dr.
Well, no,
Toftoy?
I mean they're just it makes them easy prey.
Yeah.
Because they're not paying attention. So and hopefully Lieutenant Noack can, when she brings out some of these points, it's going to be helpful for people.
Tell us, Lieutenant Noack. Just you got a sheet here, and you can look at it. Just some of the points. Highlight what we should be watching out for.
Okay, some of the points I've got are just common safety tips. I geared them for running, but they're common safety tips for wherever you are, just walking around. If you're going to run, it's best to run with somebody else, because in groups you're safer than you are by yourself. Always stay alert, and that's walking, running. You need to pay attention. Walk and run with authority. Look like you know where you're going and what you're doing. Pay attention to people that pass you. A tip that I give people is when you're walking with a group, after you've passed somebody, ask everybody who that person was. What did they look like? To get them thinking, because you'll be surprised.
They probably don't know.
No, some of them can't even tell you whether it was a male or a female.
And that's
because they're just not paying attention, and that makes them a little bit more aware, and they pay a little bit better attention to their surroundings that way. Running, don't run with earphones in. I know runners. I like to run with music too. If you have to have your music, put one headphone on, put one in your ear, and leave the other one dangling down.
I think
so-
that's
so
a
that
real
you
good
can hear.
idea. She
Yeah,
was telling me
yeah.
about that earlier.
Yeah.
Because I know people like to run with their ears on, but it's not very safe.
Yeah.
And then she talked about, excuse me, but she talked about altering your route, and that was one point.
I think that's important.
She can't.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, one thing that we learned in Vietnam is when you went out to ambush and everything, you never go out the same trail at the same time, and you don't come back that same way. So don't run at 7 at night all the time. So they see you going out your door, or
Yeah, you can set the watch
spot.
by it.
So yeah, break it up. Very, like she says, alter your route.
Yeah, I got to say about Dr. Toftoy, he had a distinguished career in the military as a what do you call it, paratrooper or what,
Yeah, airborne range.
airborne ranger. Right. So anyway, go ahead, Lieutenant. Just mention a few other things.
Arlington, we've got some beautiful bike trails, but they're very secluded in dusk and dark.
Right.
So it's best to run, if you want to run on the bike trails, to run out when there's more traffic out.
Yeah.
So your running routes should really be highly trafficked. And you want to make sure there's people out. You want to trust your intuition. If you see somebody as you're running, and you see somebody that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, trust your intuition, go the other way, turn around, because generally people have good instincts. Use your instincts. Don't do that. Carry a cell phone. A lot of people forget to. They're attached to their cell phone at any other time.
Right.
But it's great to have it when you're running, in case you get hurt or you come across something where somebody's bothering you. Then you got a way to get a hold of
Yeah,
somebody.
let me piggyback that, because again, we were talking earlier about this. If you kind of sense something that might be unusual, just take the cell phone and go up here. You don't have to be calling anybody.
They'll think you're calling
and
the
then they'll
police or
take
something.
off. I know this wasn't running or anything, but my wife was in her car, and there were 4 guys in this car right next to her, and they were really harassing her. She picked up the cell phone just like that, didn't make a call. They took off. Anyway, go ahead.
And run against traffic, so you can see oncoming cars, and that way you can make eye contact with them. Always look both ways before you cross the road, because they see that cross sign, and they do have the right of way, but you always want to make sure you make eye contact with the drivers so that it's safe to cross, even though you've got the right of way, because you
Yeah,
can
I
really
think
get hurt.
that's a big point. She and I both run marathons, and I always run against traffic, because what happens is if you're running with traffic, they'll clip you, and you won't see them.
It's all behind you.
Yeah.
All behind you. I want to, before we go out in this segment here, I want to give this information. If you need to get in touch with Lieutenant Susan Noack, it'll be on the screen, SNOACK at arlingtonvirginia.us. She's a commander for the midnight shift. And then right over here, we have Dr. Toftoy is CASB at GWU.edu. He used to be a professor at George Washington University. That's why he has that email address. But I know there are other points, but maybe we don't have time to go into all of it. But the main thing is you're telling us you got to be aware and alert.
Yes.
Let me just tell you quickly, we're going out. We have about a half minute. I just want to say we're going out. I remember there was a lady from Brooklyn. I'm from Brooklyn originally, and she was running on the park. If somebody was behind her, she'd make noise. She'd go, "Hey, what's going on?"
Yeah.
Blah, blah. People got scared of her.
Right.
People think she's crazy or something, but she wasn't quiet and meek.
I know we're closing down,
Yeah.
but that's a big point of mine. She and I talked about it before. I like people to carry a whistle.
Yeah.
Put it around your neck, and if you run into a situation, just blow that thing as loud as you can.
We got to go. They're giving us a signal. Thank you so much, Lieutenant Noack, for
Thank
coming
you for
on.
having me.
Thank
Okay.
you, Dr.
Thanks a lot.
Toftoy.
Yeah, good.
Back in a minute.
All right, thanks, Rich.
Thank
Dr.
you, Rich.
Chuck Toftoy and Lieutenant Susan Noack from Arlington County Police Department. We got to go, but before we go, anything else to add?
Yes, Craig.
Or correction?
A small correction. Tommy Casey's a junior of Yorktown. He won $750,
There you go.
while the other finalist won
$750,
$500.
not bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
$750.
Thanks. Thanks to you. Thanks to all of you for watching.
Thank
Have
you.
a safe week. Next week, you be there, we'll be here, and we'll do it all again. Take care. Bye-bye.